Welcome to Simply Country Cuisine. This is the 2nd of November, and we're going to start preparing for Thanksgiving. But this is just going to be a fun little recipe, a cookie recipe that can be done a couple days before Thanksgiving, probably about 5 days before. It's a soft pumpkin spice cookie, and we're going to cut them out. We're going to use our pumpkin cookie cutter, and very, very little icing on the end, just enough for a little bit of decoration. So let's get started. So this recipe, and the contents will be listed, will have a cup of softened butter that I've set out probably for about 3 or 4 hours. And remember, again, the little trick, if you're running your dishwasher and you're gonna need soft butter, set it up on your counter. A half a cup of granulated white sugar, a half a cup of firmly packed brown sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, 1 egg, and again, room temperature eggs when baking, a half a cup of pumpkin puree. Now, guys and gals, don't get pumpkin pie in the can. That has a lot of the seasonings in it. You want the one without the seasoning, so make sure it says 100% puree. You can get organic, but since Thanksgiving's coming up and we are apparently getting our grocery stocked, I went with Libby's. You're going to use ground cinnamon. We're going to use freshly ground nutmeg, baking powder, 3½ cups of all-purpose flour, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now, these cookies do not have to be refrigerated like most cutout cookies. Have I ever made these cookies? No, but I have watched the video and they seem to be coming out pretty soft. Really, they are nice soft cookies. It's not a hard, crunchy sugar cookie. Okay, now I've preheated my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I have pre-lined 2 cookie sheets. This recipe says that you can yield 24 medium-sized cookies. I'm not sure what the medium size constitutes. I'm hoping this is medium. If not, we're just going to get what we get. We're adding our paddle mixture and our paddle utensil. And what we're going to do is we're going to cream together a cup of butter, which is 2 sticks, because each stick yields a half a cup of butter. We're adding a half a cup of granulated white sugar, and a half a cup of firmly packed light brown sugar. Now we want to cream this until it's light and fluffy. All right, let's check and see. Let's push it down under the paddle. Remember, this is a cookie recipe, so you're going to want your butter and your sugar to be a little bit airy, a little bit light. So let's give it another high spin. Well, medium high. All right, now I'm going to push it back down again. And I hear less grit. That's the white sugar. All right, now, while it's stopped, I am going to incorporate 1 egg. Remember, if you get farm eggs from a wonderful friend, Vanessa, if you get good farm eggs, always crack them in a bowl first, so you make sure that they are just crystal clear eggs. So put 1 egg in, the half a cup of the pumpkin puree. Remember now, not pumpkin pie mix, just pumpkin puree. I'm adding a teaspoon of vanilla. Good vanilla. I'm adding a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. I'm adding 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground cloves. That smells real good. And this I'm going to eyeball a little bit. I'm using a fresh nutmeg, and I'm going to grate 1/8 of a teaspoon of fresh nutmeg in here. So just about what you put in, 1/8 of a teaspoon. You could measure it out on a piece of parchment if you're a little apprehensive of what 1/8 of a teaspoon looks like. Oh, again, that smells delicious. Now we're going to cream together one more time for about a minute, all of these ingredients. Get them pushed down in there off of the paddle. Now, remember, you stop your mixer kind of halfway through, give it a push back down because you want to make sure you get all of the ingredient off the side of the bowl and off the paddles. Now we are going to sift together or whisk together our dry ingredients. We have 3½ cups of all-purpose flour in here. I am adding 1/4 teaspoon of table salt. I don't want to use kosher salt in here. And 2 teaspoons of the baking powder. That'll rise our cookies a bit. One and 2. Now I like to use a whisk to incorporate my dry ingredients. Now we're going to incorporate our dry ingredients into our mixture. I'm going to do it on about a 1 or 2 speed. Let's start with 1. A few weeks ago I was baking something and I hit it on 2, dropped my measure cup down here, and I am still wiping flour off of everything. So I've got about a 1/4 cup measure. Okay, now we've lightly floured our cutting board here and brought the dough over. It is a little sticky, but I'm going to roll it in a ball. So let's get it out on our board. Now that we have it all out of the bowl, what we're gonna do is just kind of roll it around on the floured surface because we want it to become a little bit more dry so we can cut the cookies out. So kind of like we're kneading bread. And I had some extra flour close at hand. We're gonna make this in 2 batches because the cutting board's a little bit high for me, and to roll out all of this dough at one time, it's a little bit difficult for me. So I'm gonna take my very, very old rolling pin. I've had it since I was married, and my oldest child, who is videotaping this, we won't disclose her age, but we've had it for a long time. So I've formed my dough into a rectangle, rectangle, and I don't want to roll it really, really thick. I think a 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, so it's real soft. So I'm rolling it out, and then I'm going to roll it and widen it. Roll it out And again, we're gonna whiten it a little bit. And hopefully I've got enough flour on here that it's not gonna stick. All right, now I've got it down to about 1/4 inch, I think. Now, folks, keep your fingers crossed. Best thing to do is flour up your cookie cutter a little bit so it doesn't stick. I think to make this easier, I'm going to bring a pan over to me instead of taking the cookies to the pan, and grab a spatula. Maybe it might help if we get a little pinch. All right, so here we go. All right, so now I've got 6 cookies cut. I can remold my dough a little bit again. This one doesn't seem like it's gonna get tough, so let's give it a little bit more. Maybe we can squeeze this out a little bit more cookies. Remember to put the flour on your rolling pin as well, and we'll roll it again just like we did before, about 1/4 inch. Now I incorporated a little bit of leftover dough that was on that first roll of dough, and now I've got my second amount of dough in my hands here. Same thing, toss it around in the flour, get it a little bit dry, and flour up your pin, and give it a roll out to about 1/4 inch. Hi, welcome back. Now I took 10 minutes to fully cook. They felt nice and firm, so now we're going to take them out. Let's pull out our pumpkin cookies first. And they have a little brown edging on them. Let's see how Teddy came out. Oh my goodness, he's ever so cute. Now we're going to try and decorate a little bit on our Teddy and our pumpkin. I will feature this in a later video. This is Buttercream Frosting, and I've used Wilton's gel food coloring in it, because regular food coloring seems to separate in your frosting, but the gel, it makes your cookies a little bit more vibrant. You could also use a royal icing, which we'll probably feature later in another video, but we're going to try and decorate with the buttercream frosting. So we're going to work on our pumpkin first. And remember the last technique we used. We got glasses, put our pastry bags down inside our glasses. I will cut a small hole in the bottom of the bag, probably just a little bit bigger than I did last time. Yes, and going to attempt at decorating a pumpkin cookie. Now I don't want very much decoration on it. I just want it to be a little bit unique, so I'm going to... Okay, now that we have our cookies decorated, I just wanted to really feature this cookie. This little cookie cut, little teddy bear cookie, is very special to me. Dear, dear, dear friends from our church, Janice and Dick Reed, blessed me with this wonderful heirloom, family heirloom. They've given it to several cookie cutters to their children, and they blessed me with this beautiful teddy bear cookie cutter, which we have featured here in our baking today, and during the winter months in December we're going to be making some gingerbread cookies, and hopefully we can make some teddy bear gingerbread cookies. Thank you so much, Janice and Dick. This is very dear to my heart. I collect teddy bears, and you didn't even know that, and I really will treasure it with it forever. Thank you. All right, hi, welcome back. Now we have our pumpkin cookies and our teddy bear cookie and some nice hot mocha in a beautiful cup that my daughter gave me for my birthday. Does this look familiar to anyone? These are these are snapshots from some of our episodes. So we're gonna try one of our cookies. Nice and soft, very pumpkin-y. I'm a dunker. Yum, yum. Yeah, that's good. That tastes like a pumpkin pie and a cookie. So while we're sitting down together, I want to talk to anyone that's interested. I mean, really, young married women, single guys. Thanksgiving is coming up, and in my life, it's prep. I start shopping for Thanksgiving pretty much on the 31st of October. I have a checklist here. I'm going to modify it a little bit, but these are you can pull them up on Pinterest. You can do look at the one that I'm going to put in the comments below. But don't let Thanksgiving overwhelm you. My first Thanksgiving, I forgot to take all the goodies out of the inside of the turkey, and I cooked it in there, and it kind of scared me when I pulled that turkey out. But Pinterest, Google, moms, grandmas have lots and lots of healthy, fun, informative information for you. But you can start prepping for Thanksgiving as early as 4 weeks ahead of time. You want to get a head count. Now that's going to vary. People are going to cancel on the last minute, or they're going to bring a guest. So always count for a couple extra people. 3 weeks ahead of time, create your menu. Traditionally, you would have, for a traditional Thanksgiving, you'd have turkey, dressing or stuffing. That makes a difference. Green bean casserole, sweet potato casserole, corn casserole, lots of casseroles. And a lot of these casseroles can be made a week or two ahead of time. Make a game plan. If someone's going to come to your house as a guest and they're going to bring something, make sure you have oven space for that. So the Sunday before Thanksgiving, if you're making cornbread stuffing, cornbread dressing, go ahead and make your cornbread. You can put it in the freezer. Make your pie doughs. Make your pie crust if you're not going to buy them pre-made. And by Monday, you want to start defrosting that turkey out full day, 4 to 5 pounds per bird. Please don't leave it sit out on the counter. Thaw your turkey out in the refrigerator. So going back to the refrigerator, about that time, you want to clean your refrigerator out. Throw things out that aren't usable, that you're outdated or expired. Make some shelf room. Go to the grocery store. Buy non-perishables. Now, I've already started buying it. I'm going to make a pumpkin pie, so I bought my pumpkin. The soup for my green bean casserole while they're on the shelf. The crispy onions for the the green bean casserole. Carnation milk's going to go into the pumpkin pie. Buy a can of, if you're going to make canned sweet potato casserole, get your marshmallows, pecans, the canned yams, canned sweet potatoes. Anything that you can leave sitting in a spare bedroom, out of your way. So Monday, you'll want to go to the grocery store and buy your perishables. Get the items for your crudité plate, your carrots, your celery, olives. If you're making a cheese ball, get some fresh cheese. Tuesday, you can make your homemade cranberry sauce. Or if you're just an e-spritzer, he doesn't think a Thanksgiving is complete unless it has the canned gelled cranberry sauce. No matter how hard Jamie or anyone else makes cranberry sauce, this is what the boy wants. Make your mushroom gravy. If you're not going to use the giblets from the turkey and make a seasoned gravy, go ahead and make a panned mushroom gravy for make it easy on yourself. Don't let Thanksgiving stress you out. Assemble all the dishes, like your all of the casseroles. Get them mixed and ready, that can be mixed and ready. Put them in the refrigerator, cover them with foil. The day of, pop them in the oven. So Wednesday, if you're going to use cloth napkins and cloth tablecloths, get them washed and ironed. Gather all of your baking dishes, get all of your serviceware out, make sure there's no chips in it, that everything matches. Or if you choose to really relax on Thanksgiving, go purchase disposables. And your table is going to be just as pretty. Really, really pretty. You can get anywhere. You can get some very decorative napkins, plates, throwaways. Make it easy on yourself. Again, Wednesday, if you don't have littles running around the house that would just tear it up, go ahead and set your table out. Get it set. Get that out of the way. Chill your wines and any of your alcoholic beverages, or make lemonade. Get it all made up if you're going to serve lemonades, or just water with lemons and limes in it, fragrant water. If you're baking sweet potatoes, start them in the morning, about 8:30 in the morning. Preheat your oven for your turkey about 10 o'clock. And this is if you are going to serve your meal about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and you have about a 12 pound turkey. Preheat your oven, put it in the baking pan, and baste it every hour. About 1 o'clock, go ahead and set up your crudité bar. If you're serving alcohol, set that up. And your guests are coming in the door, you can prepare. They can just snack and feast on cheese balls, crackers, olives, and such. While the turkey rests, when it's finished, you want to take that turkey out and tint it. Let it sit. I let mine sit for about 30, 40 minutes because it incorporates all the juices back into that bird. If you cut that turkey right out of the oven, all the juices are going to flow out and everybody's going to say this is the driest turkey they've ever eaten. And if you have someone in your family that's a good carver, let them carve it. Take that stress off of you. Sit down, enjoy your meal, and remember, always be thankful. What I wanted to just share spiritually with you, Thanksgiving brings a lot of anticipation and anxiety out. Christmas does, when we're the host or the hostesses. But in all of this, there's a lot of expectations that you can just leave and send to someone else. Let them do it. Don't be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer, petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests made known to God. Talk to God about this. He's going to direct you. Thank you so much for joining us today. This was a fun video. And if you don't have a place to worship, please join us at GT Leander Assembly in Leander, Texas, the church on the hill. Hit subscribe and like. Every time you hit when you hit subscribe, every time we post a video, you're going to get alerted. Thanks. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.